A very good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir.
Friends, we are beginning the TOT session for Thursday today. And
Good evening, Mishra ji. I am Sanjeev Dev from Ahmedabad.
great pleasure to talk to you, Mr. Sanjeev.
हाँ सर, एक बताना था कि यहाँ अहमदाबाद से खाली मैं ही अटेंड कर रहा हूँ ये, क्योंकि हमारा एक दूसरा प्रोग्राम चल रहा है। तो एमएसटीयू या राजस्थान और गुजरात के लोग पार्टिसिपेट नहीं कर रहे हैं इसमें आपके।
Okay.
हाँ, तो ओनली आई एम पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन दिस वेबिनार।
Okay, fine. We are recording it, so it can be made available to others also.
ओके सर, ओके।
So wishing all the participants a very good evening once again. It is my pleasure to present to you another TOT webinar hosted by NADT. And in this webinar, we have decided to share with you all certain best practices related to training. And it is going to be sort of a demonstration rather than a theoretical exercise. But before I start, I would like to request all the participants to keep their videos off. That is absolutely important for us so that connectivity is ensured. Thank you so much. Friends, I'm beginning with certain best practices that we have been following in DTRTI Lucknow, and probably it could be a sharing of those best practices. So, in that sense, what we had done was that we had felt a need that we need to take the training process online, and therefore we began the preparation for that about 1.5 year ago. The DTRTI Lucknow was headed by Sri Anurag Goel, who was the ADG of the DTRTI at that time, and it was he who initiated the process of taking things online as far as DTRTI Lucknow is concerned. Initially, we got a lot of guidance from Sri Govind Lal, who was the ADG DTRTI Kolkata, and he had begun the process of taking the training process online. And we just took a cue and continued from there when Mr. Govind Lal left for a different charge. So, when it comes to training, we need to have online processes of management of training, and those online processes must be integrated with our physical processes of training. So, as we have given the title of this presentation, that how to integrate the physical training with the online processes. So, in that context, we started with building a small portal, and I would like to request my colleague Mr. Manoj Kumar Vishwakarma to show the portal to you that we have developed and how it takes the process of training online. So this portal is available on a URL that we are showing to you. If you want, you can increase the size of your screens to see it in the full screen by clicking on floating panel view. So we are showing you the portal now. So click on the URL or start the URL. So that is the first page of this URL and the first page of our portal. And when we log in, on the login page, we have a small app also, as you can see, download Android app. So by clicking on download Android app, an app can be downloaded from here on the mobile phones. We'll just show you how to do that. And there is the regular register button and the forgot password button for those who don't have a password to enter. So we just log in into the portal. So we are logging in into the portal, and after logging in, we get this first page. On the first page, we have initially given three things. One is the IRS online headlines, which is a matter of great interest to all the officers of the department. And another thing is the annual training calendar. And third is the yearly training trends. On the first page, you get all these things. Now, when you are conducting training, first of all, you make an annual training calendar. So we just click on the annual training calendar button, and when we click on that, you can see the annual training calendar here in a dashboard format. So the courses are listed here. Whatever courses are going on are listed here, and you can change from one month to the other month to see the courses of whichever month you want to see. If you want to download the training calendar, you can click on the export button, which is mentioned here. You can see that. If you click on that, the training calendar can be downloaded, and a copy of that can be taken in Excel also and sent to anyone whom you want to send it to. So this is the training calendar, and initial thing is to make the training calendar. So to make the training calendar, we have a menu here on the left hand side called course management. Inside the course management, there is a sub menu called training calendar. When you click on training calendar, a page will open where there is a facility to create the training calendar. So you can put a from date and the number of days. So automatically it will calculate the to date, and you can put a unit there as to which unit. For example, if you click on the unit, it will show you the units. The DTRTI Lucknow and other units, you can see they are there. MSTUs are there. There could be other units also, like other DTRTIs also here. And after that, we have to select a course team. So, and after the course team, we can select target trainees. And then when we click on the submit button, that course will get created. Now we just go down below and show you how these courses are appearing. See, these are the courses which have been created. And in case you want to print the schedule of that course, you have a print schedule button, you have a print nominations button, and print nomination button also. If any editing is required in the course, then it can be edited by using the edit button. If the same course has to be copied, then you have a copy button here on the right. The same course can be copied and fixed for some other dates also, so that you don't have to do the double and triple typing work. Now thereafter, once we have created the calendar, the letters are sent for nominations to the principal CCITs, and once you receive the nominations, then you have to enter the nominations of that particular course. So for entering the nomination, you have to just go to course management and then go to nomination, course nomination or registration. So when you click there, you can select the unit for which the nomination has come, or whichever unit is actually doing that course, it can select its own name and then select the course name. And once you select the course name, you can see the nominations of that particular course. If you have selected the course name, automatically you can see the nominations for this course are visible here on the initial screen. In case any details of any participant have to be edited, there is an edit button here, and the details of any participant can be edited by going to the edit button. We just click on one of the edit buttons and show how the details of the participant can be edited. So we have clicked on the edit button, and you can see details of that participant who details have to be edited. Now, for example, if the participant has been nominated and we are aware of the details, then we can feed the details here, or we can correct the details here, and then press on the button update. So when you press the button update, then the details of that participant to that extent will be updated. Question coming before us, and it is saying that how the nominations can be called for. So we are calling the nominations by the normal method, because the nominations have to be done by the principal CCIT, and in that sense the principal CCIT sends us the nominations. So that part we are still trying to automate by getting a part of the portal for the principal CCIT, but that has not been automated so far, because it requires a lot of effort on the part of principal CCIT office to generate a list of the likely participants. But we'll go to that afterwards. Another question that is, I'm not able to read it, how to SEBD, BINU, don't know what it is, but anyway, we'll come to that. So now we have to just nominate somebody in this course. So how do we nominate somebody in this course? So let's say that I want to nominate someone for this course. What I'll do is that if the details of this participant is fine. If I have not, I'll press the reset button, and when I press the reset button, again I can select the course. And now once the course is selected, I can nominate the participant. To nominate the participant, I'll just show you by nominating someone to this course. If somebody who's here, and if somebody can give me, or we can use somebody's, for example, employee code. So we can nominate by employee code or by name also. So we will just one person here whose nomination we will do. So we are feeding in one employee code, and we'll show you how the nomination is taking place. So we'll feed in any one employee code to nominate a person, and as we are feeding in, automatic search is taking place in the database.
एकदम नीट हो गया.
You can see that
अभी जो दिखा रहे हैं वो तो दिख रहा है पूरा एम्प्लॉय कोड वाइज.
You can see that we have selected one employee code, and as we write the employee code, automatically the name of that person appears, and then that person can be nominated by clicking on that name. So when we click on that name, the data of that person is displayed. Once the data of that person is displayed, we have to decide whether we are nominating him or reporting him. We report him when he reports for that course. We nominate him when we receive the nominations. So when we click this button submit here, he will get nominated for this course, and an SMS will go to his mobile phone saying that you have been nominated for this course. So press the submit button, and as we have pressed the submit button, it says that employee so and so has been successfully nominated in the course name. This is the course name, and now we will go and see how this SMS has gone to that person, and we'll confirm whether this SMS has gone to that person or not. And for that, we will share the mobile phone. We'll share the mobile phone for you, and we'll show you mobile phone of Manoj Vishwakarma, who has been nominated for this course. We'll go and share the mobile phone and show you as to what SMS, if any, he has received after we have clicked on the nominate button. So this is the SMS here. You can see on the top RTI LKO. Just open it. So you can see the SMS here. Dear so and so, you are nominated for this course, and you can go, then the website details are there. So that is how we nominate a person, and when he reports for the course, all we have to do is just go to his details in the nomination list and go to edit and click report and then update. So we'll just show you that now. By the way, see, if you are on the mobile, can we just show how to download the mobile app here while we are on the mobile phone? So on the mobile phone, we'll just show you how to download the mobile app. So we use the same URL, and then you can see this green badge here. On that we do a right click, or we keep pressing there. We keep pressing there when we get a menu. On the menu we get a download link. So when we press this download link, then the download of this app will start, and this app will get downloaded on the phone. The advantage with the app is, see here, you can see the download button. Just give an OK to that, and then it will get downloaded. Do you want to download? Just press download, and then it will start downloading. And once it is downloaded, you can install it. And after installing, you have to just feed in your username and password. And when you feed in your username and password, it will automatically log you in. And if the question is that how to get the password, then you have to use this forgot password option either on the mobile phone or on the desktop. Mobile phone Chrome also you can use. When you do a forgot password option, most probably you'll have to feed in your user ID. So can we meanwhile just click on this forgot password and show this screen, forgot password screen? Can we just click on forgot password? In fact, anybody can easily do forgot password, but just to show you what you have to feed there. So click on forgot password. While the app is downloading, Can we do that? Can we click on forgot password? Maybe the download is taking place or the connectivity issue, that is why it's showing like that. Okay, once again go to that screen and then yeah. So now just click on forgot password. So when you click on forgot password, it asks for you for the username. Username is the 6-digit employee ID. So 6-digit employee ID is the username. And when you do that and you click a forgot password here, then a password will go to your mobile phone and your email. The email means the name based email. On that it will go. So then you can use that password to log in. Now this is meanwhile here the file must have been downloaded there, so we can just install that file. The file is being installed, and like this you can see now the first page of the mobile app that can be seen here. So on this mobile app you can access your own courses, you can access the training material also for your courses, you can give feedback about the lectures that took place, and you can also do give a TNA of the lectures of what you want from the training. You can express your training need. So this was just to show you how this mobile app is working. Now meanwhile we just there is another very interesting thing here. From the mobile app you can go to the forum. So can we click on forum here? Along with the mobile app and along with the website, we have a discussion forum. That is also a very useful thing, because if anybody has any question, he just puts the question there, and once he has put the question there, anybody can answer that question. So there are the usual like, unlike, dislike and reply and view buttons, which shows that how many times a person has been liked or a post has been liked, how many times it has been replied, how many times it has been viewed. And if anybody has a question, then you can just go to this plus button and put a question there. So just click on this plus button. So when you click on the plus button, you can write a question here. For example, if I'm creating a question, I can create anything. I can create a question, or I can create a group discussion or a topic discussion, whatever I want. I'm just putting in some question, I'm initiating certain thing, initiating a discussion, and then from there that discussion can follow. So we can write a question here. For example, if I have to write, for example, I can write anything, any question I can write here, like what are the immediate plans? What are the immediate plans for I-GOT material preparation? I-GOT material preparation. For example, I have to write this question. I can write any question. I can write about any section or anything, any issue, any legal issue. Then I go down, and I can, if I want, I can attach a file also. If there is a file related to the question, I can attach it here and then press the submit button. If I want, I can put a key phrase. If I want to put it, fine. Don't want to put it, I can leave it. And then I click there, the post has been successfully created. Now once the post is created, you can see the post right on top. What are the immediate plans for I-GOT material preparation? Now anybody who wants to reply this post, he has to just click on this post. So click there. When you click there, here a reply can be inserted down below. So in the reply, anybody can write anything or choose a file to attach also. If, supposing you want to attach a case law relating to that, or any document that is, for example, this is IGOT. So IGOT document, if IGOT document is there, that can be attached here by clicking choose file, and then reply can be posted here. So let us try and post a small reply, and we can say that IGOT material preparation work has started. IGOT material preparation work. IGOT material preparation work has got started. Has got started. Work has got started. Okay, so after writing that, we go down and press the submit reply button, because we are not attaching a file here. Fine, just press the submit reply button. If you want to choose a file, you can choose a file. So press the submit reply, and then the reply is posted. So the reply has been, answer has been replied successfully. Now can we see the answer? Okay, so it is coming here. IGOT material preparation work has got started. Now supposing somebody started this thread with this question, and somebody replied here, and somebody wants to make a reply to the reply, or somebody wants to make a remark to the reply, then this agree disagree button has to be clicked here. So click on the agree disagree button here, and then you can write here, it is very exciting. So this reply facility, it is very exciting, and then you press the submit button. So you can see now the initial question was coming right on top here. The name of the person who has asked the question automatically appears from the database, and then this is the reply, and then this is the reply to the reply. Reply to reply will come in red color, one after the other. If there are more replies to replies, they will come one below the other, and the main replies will come here. And if there is anybody else who wants to put a reply to this original question, he can go down and make a reply there. So in this manner, participation can be done by all the employees of the department only, and every employee of the department is clearly identified by his name and other data that the database is having with them. In fact, all the data that is there, since it is a training platform, all the data is can be edited by employees themselves, so that they keep it updated as to what is their posting and other details. So this is the way this forum works, and this forum is a very exciting thing because it can be participated by the people of the department, and outsiders will not be allowed inside. So as the government is becoming more strict about use of social platforms for exchanging official information, this kind of a platform where there is no limit to the number of participants who can participate here, except the fact that they have to be identified employees responding to their name-based emails and their Aadhaar authenticated numbers. So in that way, this Daksh forum, and by the way, Daksh means DAKSH. So diligence, D is for diligence, AKS is the knowledge, skill and attitude, and H is for honesty. So in that way, this Daksh name has been coined. Okay, now I take you to the how do we see on the mobile phone? Since we are already on the mobile phone, can we see the courses that this person has attended so far? So we will just see the course in which this person was nominated. By pressing this button, you can either do this hamburger button here, where you will get options, or you can just click down below in my courses. Just show that how my courses, we have come to my courses. Show once again. Go back. Yeah, so you can see this my course button down below. So here, now this person attended number of courses, so all those courses are getting listed here, one below the other. This is the way he can see which courses I have been nominated for. And supposing in one course we'll click on view details, and when we click on the view details, we are finding all the material of that course available for download. So all this material is there, and this with the help of the download button, this person can download all the material of the course that he had attended. So in this way, he has access to the material. Now, there is another kind of login that is available to any person, and I would like to show you that login also. So we can move out the mobile app, and we can go to the desktop login, and we'll use the desktop login of that person. By going out of the mobile app, going to the desktop, sharing the desktop. So the desktop is being shared. Here it is, and now we are on the desktop. I'll just like to show you when a person logs in into his own account, what he can see. So we'll just log out from this DTRTI login and then go to the personal login of a person. Page is same URL. Instead of the user ID, we have to put our own employee ID as the username, and the password that we had obtained by doing a forgot password. And here you can see, and then press on the login button to log in. So when you log in, you get the employee login. So this is the employee login. Now here, what are the facilities which are available to the employee? One is the change password option. You can at any time, whatever a password has been given, you can change it. If you want to go to the discussion forum, you can just go to the discussion forum by clicking this button, discussion forum. Can we see it so that we get a desktop view also of the discussion forum? Nowadays, a new thinking is there that the form of asking questions and getting answers to them is the best way to learn and to share. So in that sense, this forum, since it has unlimited space and unlimited number of people who are identified can log in into it, so it can be a great source for exchange. As you can see, there is something called links to online classes here. So just press on links to online classes. When you click on links to online classes, here on the third one is how you can search it also. You can search it also. If you search it by pressing search button, you can search any link. Or otherwise, you can just click here directly. Links to online classes. It has been viewed 15 times. And see all the online classes which are going on. They are all being posted here also. And if you want to know which online class is going on and all where, so you can come here also and get access to such information. Another thing I would like to show you here. Now, these are the online classes. Come out of here. Let's go to home again. And I want to show you by searching Chennai. Now, supposing DTRTA Chennai has been doing excellent work by publishing its magazine. So we just search for Chennai thread called Chennai. And when we search for that thread, it shows us this DTRTA Chennai newsletter. So when we click on that thread, it opens up that thread for us. And here it is. You can see the DTRTA Chennai newsletter thread. It is go down, scroll down. When you scroll down, you can see that DTRTA Chennai R. Sri Priya, I think she is here. She has posted this drive, Google Drive link here for the newsletter. So you have to just select it. Just select this link and do a right click here. And when you do a right click, you can say go to. When you click go to, then this Google Drive opens. And as soon as this Google Drive opens, you are able to see this folder called newsletter. When you click on that folder, newsletter, you are seeing all the newsletters, about 100 or something. You can see this last newsletter, 100, newsletter 100. They are all posted there on the Google Drive. If you want to have a look at it or download at any time, this newsletter can be downloaded. So huge amount of material in form of links can always be posted here. You can post anything to Google Drive, post it here. Post any video to YouTube, post it here. So a lot of training material in that sense can easily be posted on the relevant thread. Now we can just go back to the Daksh Connect thread, the home of this page. Yeah. So go to home. Similarly, there could be many other threads, but there could be questions also. Can we see a question here? Just go down and can we see how questions are being put here? Many other people are also putting questions. Go down. Can we see which are the biggest seen threads? Which threads are being seen the most? When you want to see that, most popular, you click on, if you click on most popular right above, see most popular. Most popular means the most viewed. So you are getting this list of most viewed. DTRTA Chennai newsletter is the most viewed here. And there is one ITBA training material. So if you want to have a look, download ITBA training material, entire ITBA training material available there. By clicking on that, you can access the ITBA training material that has been uploaded there. And similarly, you can search for other threads also. Go down, scroll down. Now somebody has asked this question, whether reasons recorded for reassessment are required to be communicated to the SSE. So there are 3 people have answered this question also. So we can show that. So some people are replying, somebody is putting a case law there. So discussion is going on. Okay, click on home again. So it can be used to ask a question. It can be used to initiate a topic of discussion. It can be also used to create a group of discussion. It can be, now you can see bookkeeping here, the latest one. Can we click on that? So some Mr. Venkatraman Kalyan Raman, he is the inspector in MSTU Chennai. So he has started downloading something. So in that sense, it's been being used by various people. So press home button again. From the forum, we again go back to, before that, well, let's see most recent. We can see most recent post. We can see most discussed post also. Most discussed means most replied. So when you click on most discussed, we are seeing the most replied post. See, this replied 14 times. So that is why it is high on the list. Similarly, there one more post here replied 10 times. So it is also quite high on the list. Now, the more this forum is used, the more it can become beneficial to all the departmental employees, although it has been made for those who are in the training to discuss various things with the trainees. But primary motive is to use it for the trainees, but it can be used by all the departmental employees. There is no restriction. They can use it. Anybody who wants to use it can use it. You can ask a question by clicking the plus button here and putting the question, putting a submit question. That's all. So as easy as that. Now we go back to our main screen where we were showing you the Daksh login, where we are showing you what are the facilities that are available to an employee in the Daksh login. You can see here, one thing is profile. If you click on profile, then a person can edit his own profile, like his posting, his DOB, his other details can be corrected here at any time. Like whenever he gets a new posting or a new transfer or something, he can do it. So these details can be added here, updated all the time. Of course, if he needs a change of email, then he needs a permission from the admin, because once an email is allotted to somebody, it's not easy to change it. Then he can give a feedback to the course that he has attended to. Like if you go to faculty feedback and select a course name, so if this person is not so far reported in this course, that is why it is saying that you cannot give feedback till the time you report for that course. We'll come back to it later on and show you how the feedback comes once we report him. But before that, we'll click on this training need. Click on training need. And by clicking on training need, that person can express what are his topics which he is interested in being trained on. So he can select the entire year's topics or any particular course-based topics also. And then he can, when he types on this topic, there is a type search here. So there is a list of about 800 topics from which he can search. So for example, he wants a training on house property. So he just he will type house. So automatically it will show you. He wants a workshop. Fine. He'll just click that. Yeah, at the top. Yeah. Fine. He wants income from house property. This is his first training need that he has expressed. That is coming over here. Now next time again he searches something, it will come here. Third time he searches something, it will come in the third box. So in that sense, he can express 3 topics on which he needs training. So in that sense, you can see he has selected second topic here, ITBA overview. Now third, he wants some soft skills. So he puts a soft skill also there, and then he will submit training need button. So when he will do that, his training need will get expressed. Now we click on course management here on the left hand side. We click on course management, so we'll find here miscellaneous document view. You can give a feedback from here also, and there is a miscellaneous document view. With the help of this miscellaneous document view, he can access the documents by selecting a unit name. Let's say he wants a DTRTI Lucknow, and then a course name. If he selects a course name, then he can select the status of the document, whether it is a view to all document, and then he clicks the button search. And when he clicks that, then he gets the list of the documents which have been uploaded for that particular course. So he may or may not have attended that course, but still he can access the documents of that course which have been used for training for that particular course. So this is a method by which here the documents of any course can be accessed by any employee of the department sitting at home or sitting in his office, and he can access those documents and study them for his own purpose. Now, you just show the dashboard. Okay, here he can export the annual training calendar also if he wants. If he wants to have a look at the annual training calendar, he can export it from here. He can select whether he wants which units, DTRTI Lucknow or Delhi or whatever. So because this is running already in DTRTI Delhi also, and it doesn't need any expenditure to run it on any other DTRTI or any other MSTU. It's absolutely free. No other expenditure is required whatsoever, and facilities can be used from day one straight away by any other DTRTI or MSTU. And then there is a facility called Submit Interest in Course. You can see the yellow button out here, Submit Interest in Course. If a person wants to submit his interest in any particular course, he can go there and submit interest in any forthcoming course. By clicking that button, he will be allowed to select a course for which he can submit his interest. Like this, he can just select a course for which he wants to submit his interest, and then he can select that particular course. Only thing is 15 days before the course he has to select it, because so that he can be nominated, his nomination can be obtained from the CCIT. But for I think online courses, we can remove this 15 days before expression. So like that, he can submit or interest for that particular course sitting at home. Now we go back to, this is the employee's login where all these facilities are available to him, that he can access the documents, he can express, he can give feedback, he can express his training need, he can get access to whatever course material he has, he can update his profile, he can change his password, he can get access to the training calendar, when we can again go back to course management. I think there was one more facility here. We can see my courses. You click on course management. Yeah, my course. So when he clicks on my course here, he can see all the courses that he has attended so far. So this is his course history or training history. And then if he wants to get a certificate, so he can click on this download button to get his certificate, because if his certificate has been issued, then this is his course completion certificate. He can himself at any time, he can print this certificate, he can laminate it, do whatever with it, that this will always be there for whichever course he has completed at any unit of training. The certificate is available to him with the serial number and all, so it's properly identified certificate that he can use for himself. So he can access course material, he can get certificate also here, so all those facilities are available to him. Now if he wants to access IRIS feed, if he's in the mood to go to IRIS feed, he can always access the IRIS feed also, but he needs of course a password to access IRIS feed. It won't automatically come to him unless he has the password. Now just show the IRIS feed here. So like that. So any of these things, that the latest one was the IGOT training that had come. So we had put here for 4th batch of integrated government online training. So lots of such MOOC trainings are coming up, and we have to be very careful, and we can plan out our own training programs. So now we go back once again to our main website from where we are organizing the training programs. This was the employee login, and I'll spend just 5 minutes more on the main website that we are using. There might be lots of questions that might be coming to your mind, but it will be a great pleasure to answer your questions. And to make it more practical for you all, the facility is not a proprietorship of DTRTI Lucknow. It extends to any unit, any DTRTA or MSTU who wants to start using this facility. They are most welcome, and they can start using it from day one. A little bit of initial master creation would be required. That would take only about a few hours. That's all, and no expenditure involved. And thereafter, we are showing you how to report a person. Once a person is nominated, now we go to course management and show you the reporting part. So we go to course nomination, and now since person has come, he is reported. We want to show him as reported. Now select course, course name, and then the list is available to us. Now once the list is available to us, we go down and we search for his name or ID in the search box, and we find his name here, and we press the edit button. We press the edit button, and when we press the edit button, there we can just go there and report him. Report him means not reporting against him. Here he has reported for the course. Just in a for humor's sake. Now, okay. Now, having clicked this reported button here, we click on update. When we click on update, he gets reported for that course. Once he gets reported for that course, we can mark his attendance, and he can give a feedback also once he has reported for that course. So now I will show you after updating him as reported. See, he has reported here, and after reported, now his attendance has to be marked. Now he comes to the training institute, or even if he is not on the training institute, he is online there. We have got his sheet, attendance sheet. So with the help of attendance sheet, all we have to do is mark his attendance. For marking attendance, we just have to know his employee ID, that's all, or his name. So here we go to attendance and mark attendance. When we click on mark attendance, we just have to put his employee ID here. So we put his employee ID and press the submit button. And his attendance has been marked. That's all that has to be done. So it doesn't take much time for marking attendance, just the employee ID and submit button. That's all. It's as simple as that. It's been made simple. In fact, on the mobile app, we have an attendance code also. With the help of code also, it can be marked, but that has not been made operational so far, because this seems to be quite a wonderful thing here, and we've been using this. 100% automation of attendance has not been attempted so far. Maybe in the future it can be done, but this is a very simple way to mark attendance. Once his attendance is marked, we can always generate the reports. So we go back to the screen, and here we want to show you the utilities. First of all, go to utilities, and in utilities you have this the document search facility. Here also you can upload documents or search documents here also, generate the certificate for that person. You can print the nameplates of the persons who are coming for training, and if you want to add topics in the master, you can, or have a look at the topics or faculties. You can have a look at the faculty members which are available for a particular topic. And then there is this send email SMS facility also. So can we see the send email SMS facility? So here we want to send SMS to him, or we want to send a course SMS to all the course participants. We can do that also. We can send SMS to staff, our own staff. We can do that, or send notification for that individual, any particular person. We can do that. So just press the button go, and then it gives you a list of those people where you can put an employee code and send SMS to him. You can send SMS for the entire course participants also. Maybe we can try that. Can we show that course notification? Yeah. We click on that, press go, and then we can select the academic year, and then we can press select a unit, DTRTA LKO, let's say, and then we can select a course name for which we want to display the participants. So these are the participants, and this is the staff of the DTRTA. So we can just select all and put a mail template is there and a SMS template is there. Whatever we want to write, we can write here or paste here and press the button submit, send. And when you press that button send, then that SMS will go to you. So I would like to just this is not very difficult to can we send a SMS to somebody? Do we have any employee ID of a person who is present here to whom we can send SMS from here? Any employee ID of a person's notification for individual? If we have any employee ID of any person, we can put it here. And let's say anybody, anyone who wants to give his employee here. Now Delhi MSTU 171618. I don't know if that is right or not, but do you have anyone? 171618, do you have? Okay, this is Mr. Varun Kumar. As soon as we put employee code, automatically it shows Mr. Varun Kumar, and we have to just write his mobile number and then send him the SMS. His mobile number is not updated with us, that is why it is not showing here. But if he will update his number, then automatically it will show, and then the SMS will go to him. But we can also insert a mobile number at this stage also and send the SMS. So maybe we can use it for somebody else. Can we try some other one? Do we have any employee ID? You may be having some employee ID. Somebody has asked the question, how do the other DTRTs use it? No issues. Just send us an email and we'll enable it, and you can start using it. It's absolutely no issues whatsoever. Try your own one because if the data is not updated, then sometimes it doesn't give us. Data has to be updated. See, his data is updated, so automatically his mobile number is being captured, and the SMS will go to him as soon as he puts down there. I think we had the mobile number of Mr. Siddharamappa, na? Okay, do you have it? Don't have it? Fine, but it works. Let me tell you, there is no issue. Do you have it? Okay, he has it. Okay, here he is. Data not updated once again. Anyway, we'll, when we update the data, then we'll show that. Now we go to course schedule. Now, having made the training calendar, we have to make a schedule of the course. So we go to course schedule and we select the unit name and the course name for which we are creating a schedule. So we select a course name, online Webos, and we are seeing here that this schedule which is already running, it is showing here. Now I want to create a schedule. Schedule means a session for this course. So let me just create a session for this course. How to create a session? Just create a session, but before that I want to tell you that we can also send a SMS to the faculty who has been nominated for lecture. By clicking this arrow button here, an SMS will go to the faculty that you are requested to deliver a lecture for this particular session. So let's show how to create the schedule. So go up and create a schedule, and we put a schedule date. The date, any date for which we are creating schedule, let's say 29th, that is tomorrow. So we are creating a schedule for 29th, and 10 to 14, 14:15 to 15:30 we are having the webinar, and this is going to be on the topic income from business and profession. Income from business and profession. As you are typing, you can see the choices which are coming, and one of them you can select. Let's say income from business and profession is not there. It must be there. Just write business and profession. Spelling is wrong. BUSINESS. Here. So assessment of profits and gains of business and profession. Just select that. Overview, yeah. And add topic button is there. You add the topic. And since it is a webinar, you can write here that it is a webinar. Webinar number 39. Webinar number 39. And then the faculty. So the faculty database is there. So you can search. This lecture is going to be delivered by our faculty member Jyoti Verma. So Jyoti Verma is there. So we can select her name. Type search is there. Just select her name and then add the faculty. And once the faculty has been added, if that faculty is delivering some other lecture also on the same day, so it says that Jyoti Verma is already assigned as a faculty in this course, and others on this date at 10 to 11:30. So it is giving a signal that you are going to give a two lectures to the same person on same day. So just check out on your conflict. Okay, I am sure that this lecture was on between 10 to 11:30. I have shifted it to 14:15. So fine, I am okay with it. So I say okay. So it checks for the conflicts also. And then after that, finally, just save and submit the schedule down below here. So just save the schedule, and it is saved. The schedule is saved, and now it is there. No problem for any MSTU. All you have to do is just write a letter to us or send an email to us. We'll enable it, and you can start doing it. If some seniors want to be part of the faculty team to give lectures, do they have option to submit their willingness online here? Well, we select the faculty members from the list of faculty that we are having. I'll just show you how do we select that. So the schedule has been made, and it will appear on that particular day. And if you want to send a mail to the faculty, just send a mail to the faculty here by clicking on this button. And I don't know whether Jyoti is there. Yeah, so Jyoti will be able to confirm to us when she receives it. So we are sending this SMS by clicking this button to the faculty. And it says that faculty mail has been sent. Mail has been sent means actually SMS has also been sent. So Jyoti can confirm to us once she receives it. Now press OK. So now go to faculty, and we want to show how do we select the faculty. Go to faculty on the left hand side. We just want to select, we want to show you, we want to show, not here, on the left side in the here. See, faculty is there. We just have to click on faculty and then search for the topic name that faculty might have delivered. There is a very detailed database of all the faculty members, and if we go down we can see probably the total number of faculty members that are listed in the database here, 680 entries. So that means almost all the good faculty members, but faculty can be added at any time also. And then we go up again and search for a particular topic. See, for all faculty members their topics are also listed here. So if you put something in the search box, and like you want something on team building or something like that, so write team, TEAM, and as soon as you write that, you are seeing that all the people who are delivering lectures on that topic are listed here. And well, it's your choice. You can contact them. The phone numbers are there. You can contact them and ask them to come and deliver lectures for you. So that's it. It was a small introduction from our side. And there's another question. Somebody is saying MSTU don't get their name on the certificate. DTRT is written. Okay, I'll just show you how to. Now it has been made all right. So whatever other DTRTIs are coming to us, or MSTUs are coming, their name will be appearing on the certificate. But I just want to show you a course progress report before that. Just show the course progress report. Now we want to get a course completion report, like a monthly progress report or something that we have to send to NADT. So just select the unit name and select some date range. This date range can be 1 month, 10 days, whatever. A course date range also, any date range we select, and for that date range the report gets generated, and press the submit button. So as you press the submit button, this report gets instantly generated, and you are finding that between those 2 dates there was one course being held in the particular unit or DTRTI, and so many people from UP East, so many people from UP West, so many from Bihar and Jharkhand area, and total so many people. And then you can the grade level of the people who attended a course, and thereafter come down below the topic names on which the lectures were delivered, and who are the faculty who delivered lectures during that particular time range or date range. So that sort of a report is also there. And then in the reports we have attendance report, feedback report, whatever feedback anybody is getting. We can generate a trainers rating also. Can you show the trainers rating report? Faculty report card, how a faculty is performing. For example, मेरा ही कर लीजिए, I have delivered some lectures here. So let me see if how I am performing. So these are my topics, and I press the submit button. So as you do that, you find the entire list of the topics that were delivered course wise, and the rating that those lectures have been given by the participants. This rating can be given by mobile app also. It can be given through the desktop also. So the rating is consolidated into a cumulative rating at the top. Can you show the cumulative rating also? Is it coming? See here the cumulative average rating. So in that sense, if somebody has a very low rating, then you may not call him. So that's how it is. We can also generate a report for the trainee, a trainee profile. Just like trainee can himself also generate his own report in his own login. So trainee gets a report here. It's called employee training history. Employee training history, put any name, like let's say any name that somebody is coming for training in DTRTI Lucknow. Let's say Alka Singh, she has been one of the high trained persons here. ALK Singh. So yeah, so click there. Yes. So you can see all the training courses that person has attended, and this can be used to nominate persons also. Once we have the link with the PCCIT, then they can also use it for nominating people by certain criteria. We are attempting that, and maybe in future we'll expose that to you also. So with that, I have taken a little bit of extra time, but it was all so much was going to be packed in, and therefore time was a little less for us. But fine, it's been done and dusted. So I hope that you liked it. And with those words, we come to the end of this presentation.